Today, I would like to tell you a story about failure. More specifically, record-setting failure. And how those, in spite of it all, who failed epically, were able to experience triumph in the end. Hi, my name is Gabe Bauer, and this is Top Shelf History, where we combine great stories with great drinks. This is the losing streak. It is the cocktail I have made for you today based on the iconic struggle of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who from 1976 to 1977 set an NFL record for 26 consecutive losses. Yes, losses at the beginning of their franchise. A record that remains unbroken to this very day. Now, this drink is made of many components, all of which play a big role in bringing us that unique Buccaneers experience. Among them are orange juice, grapefruit juice, coconut milk, vodka, orange liqueur, and simple syrup. Now we also have a couple of extracts as well that I'll get into later. Now this drink is based also on those bold or perhaps garish uniforms of that 1976 team, so it'll taste like a creamsicle but with a surprising finish. Now, with many of the histories that inspire these episodes, they come from discoveries I made in books or through documentaries, but today's story is different because today's story is personal. See, both me and my father have been Bucs fans our entire lives and have endured the tremendous amount of pain and at times national shame that come along with being one of those fans, at least before Tom Brady joined the team. Now, mind you, yes, we had some great times in the 90s and 2000s with the Dungy-Gruden era, including that epic Super Bowl in 2002, but at the same time, the Bucs also hold the worst regular season winning percentage for a franchise in the NFL at around 40%. Just this year, the Minnesota Timberwolves just passed the Bucs for having the worst regular season winning percentage for a franchise across all four major American sports. Yeah, pain. It almost seemed like from the beginning the Bucs were destined for pain. At the onset of their franchise, they were served a tough hand. The player talent that they had was at best a mediocre college football team. Their quarterback, Steve Spurrier, a 9-year veteran out of the University of Florida, was sacked so many times it looked like he was practically running for his life. It truly was a band of misfits. Over the course of the streak that would scar the franchise and name this drink, the Bucs would be shut out 11 times. The culture of losing was so pervasive that head coach John McKay became known for his sarcastic criticisms of the team, and some players would just end up hanging up their spikes and walking away from the game forever. There is perhaps no better example of this than in the 1976 training camp, when before the season even started, one of the players told his coach that he was going to the bathroom, only for him to hightail it out of the facility and never come back. Ever. Crazy, right? In 1977, Steve Spurrier would end up getting cut from the team and would actually start his iconic coaching career. Leroy Selmon, the first-round draft pick and future Hall of Famer, would be the centerpiece of a markedly better defense from the year prior. But the losses would still mount until two important things happened for the team. Firstly, in a game against the Bears, the defense dominated legendary running back Walter Payton. Now, they would still lose 10-0, one of the 11 shutouts, but the team realized at this point that they could compete with the big boys. Now, mind you, let's go back a year before in 1976, where around the same time the Bucs were playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, the team of the 70s that was dominating everybody? Yeah, they killed the Bucs 42-0. So this is a big improvement for the team. Second, preceding their penultimate game, New Orleans quarterback Archie Manning went on the record to say that losing to the Bucs would be a complete embarrassment. Well, using these words as fuel to their fire, the Buccaneers came out to the New Orleans Superdome and crushed the Saints 33-14 with their first ever win, finally ending the losing streak. Well, Their first one. It is the Bucs. Now, when the Bucs were flying home, they were met with the screams and adulation of thousands of fans who were there at 11 p.m. at night. Yeah, you would have thought that they had just won the Super Bowl, but no, they won their first game on their 27th try. That's how starved for victory the city was. But they finally got it, and the Bucs used that energy going into the next game at home against the St. Louis Cardinals, where they would win again, finishing the season 2-12. As a result of the losses to both the Saints and the Cardinals, both head coaches of those respective teams would be fired for the embarrassment that they brought upon their franchises. Yeah, crazy. Now that I've gotten way off the rails, let's get back to our drink and hope it goes better for us than it did for the Bucs. First, 1 ounce of orange juice. After all, this is a creamsicle and it's necessary. Just toss that on in. 1 ounce of grapefruit juice. Also important to flourish stuff. I'm gonna do that little flourish because that's fun. You can do it too. Just don't make a mess. And if you do, clean it up. Just saying. We don't want sticky. And then 1 ounce of orange liqueur. Toss that in. Now I'm using Clement as my orange liqueur here. You can also use Cointreau or Cointreau Noir, which actually includes cognac in the blend for the Cointreau Noir. But considering that we're making our drink off of the losing streak, I don't think that we deserve anything that nice. So we'll follow that up with 1 ounce of vodka, because everything's better with vodka. 1/2 ounce of simple syrup to introduce some sweetness. Kind of cut through all the tart. And 1.5 ounces of coconut milk. Now, when I was first creating this drink, I was having the darndest time trying to figure out how to introduce some creaminess without curdling. I was using milk and cream, and it would always separate, and that's actually due to the acidity in the citrus juice. So, my girlfriend did some research for me, luckily, and she actually came across some information saying that creamsicles are typically made with coconut milk, and it works perfectly because it won't actually separate, at least into curds, when you combine it with the alcohol. So it's perfect. So shout out to her. Now if you actually had this drink, it would taste good, but it wouldn't yet be a creamsicle. So for that, we're going to include 2 important extracts, vanilla and orange. Now, you want to be careful with these. When it comes to extracts, less is more. Too much and you're going to blow your head off on flavor. So I would say at the very maximum, like the very, very, very maximum, and I can't emphasize this enough because it tastes horrible. I'm telling you, I've tried it. Teaspoon at the very max. If you can handle less, then go with less and work your way up because you can't take it out. So we'll put in about a teaspoon-ish of vanilla extract and a teaspoon-ish of orange extract. All right, then we're going to throw in a little bit of food coloring. Now this was a 2-to-1 ratio between yellow food coloring and red food coloring, just so that we kind of get that orange creamsicle look that we're looking for here, because right now it'll be a little yellowy. So I diluted this in water just to give us a little bit more leeway here, or else it's too powerful of a color. So I'm just gonna eyeball this, that's about enough. And then we'll toss in some ice. And mix. And then we will strain into our cocktail glass. And garnish with an orange. And there you have it, the losing streak. And I gotta say, that looks a heck of a lot better than the team that it was inspired by. All right, well, let's see what losing tastes like. You know, it's not that bad. It really does taste a lot like a creamsicle. It's orangey, it's sweet, it's refreshing, but it also has that surprising ending, bitterness. From that 1 ounce of grapefruit juice we included in the drink, you get a bit of bitterness in the end as an aftertaste. And sure, you could exclude the grapefruit juice if you wanted just a simple creamsicle cocktail, and you'd be okay to do that. But if you want the authentic experience of what it means to be a 70s Bucs fan, you know, having the sweetness and excitement of having a football team and the bitter disappointment of having to watch them every Sunday, you gotta keep it in. You just gotta. And that sounds like last call. So with the Buccaneers, there was a lot of problems that occurred in those first few seasons, but it wasn't just the players that were really at fault. It was also the management wasn't the best disposed, and even the owner was notorious in his own way. Hugh Culverhouse, the owner of the Bucs, had a reputation about him, as you could say, of being a little bit too close to his money. When it came to travel, he would put the Bucs not on American Airlines or really reputable airlines, but he would put them on a different airlines that doesn't even exist anymore. At one point, one of the players even saw, when he was boarding the plane, the pilot fumbling around with the wiring on the plane before they took off. Just put that in your mind just for a second. You're a player in the NFL that has to worry about the plane not crashing because of the wiring that the piloting is doing. He's literally hot wiring the plane. Hugh Culverhouse was also fairly conservative with his players in coming to contract negotiations as well. When Doug Williams asked for more money, Hugh Culverhouse wouldn't give it to him, and Doug Williams decided, all right, I'm just gonna hop into this spring league called the USFL at the time. And then after playing for the USFL, he would sign for the Washington Redskins and would win a Super Bowl. And that would kind of start the little curse of their own, as the Bucs could not hold on to a franchise quarterback for the life of them. Steve Young would walk out and he would win a Super Bowl with the 49ers, and the Bucs haven't had a real franchise quarterback since. They tried it with Jameis, but Jameis didn't work out. And yeah, I mean, we got Tom Brady, but I mean, he's 43, so he's not going to be our franchise quarterback. He'll be here for a few years and then he'll most likely retire. Or he's a demigod that will never retire. We're not certain yet. The jury's still out on that. From the beginning, it seemed that the Bucs, from the top to the bottom, were going to struggle in every facet of the game, and so it seemed that they were built for a losing streak. Thank you all so much for watching. If you'd like to take a deeper dive into the woes and throes of misery that were that 1976 through 1977 Buccaneers team, check out my article at topshelfhistory.com. There we have also all of our blogs, videos, recipes, and more, including a frozen version of this drink that has a few different ingredients that I'm sure you'd be interested in checking out. From all of us here at Top Shelf History, where history is better with a drink, cheers.